Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing good and feeling well. Today I want to talk about a topic that I've been wanting to talk about since a really long time, and that is comparison, or more specifically how I managed to stop comparing myself to others. Now I want to start off by saying that comparison is not always a bad thing. Actually, I think if we wouldn't be able to compare ourselves to others, growth would be impossible. But today I want to talk about a comparison that is not very valuable and that feels really bad. It kind of feels like you are just taken over by it and you don't really have a sense of self to come back to. I had a phase in my life, I would say like 3 or 4 years, where I spiraled in that kind of state for a really long time. And so I went on this entire journey of understanding that I need to find confidence within myself and I need to stop being that way and bullying myself that way. And yeah, for this video I just want to share some things that I learned along that journey, I guess. Journey feels very weird to say, but I guess it was a journey. It's not about anyone else, only about you. Comparison, in the sense of what I'm talking about, feels like it's about other people because you have all these thoughts and all this energy that is directed outside of you, and at some point it starts feeling like to fix the situation you also have to start fixing the outside, because it's all about the outside. You have to become like this person, you have to purchase this, you have to be able to do this. For this journey of mine to really begin, I had to realize that it's not about anyone else, only about me, and anyone else or anything else had to become irrelevant. And I also had to scratch the idea that if I would be someone else, it would be easier to love myself, because that is an endless road you're going on that will never ever end. The person that you are looking at, who you think if you would be them, you would be able to love yourself easier and you would have the life you would want, that person is looking at someone else who they think has what they want. And so that loop has to be cut. It just has to be like, with a big scissor, you have to go and you just have to cut it. You have to make a stop. It has to end there. It has to become only about you. Breaking the illusion. Isn't it interesting that most of the time we feel the most insecure when observing people from far away? So individuals that we don't really know very well, or also people on social media, because that would give my mind the space to play tricks on me, to make me think actually that this person has all I want. This person has everything. They have what I would want, because I'm seeing a fabricated version. I'm not actually seeing reality. When we're very deep in this kind of way of thinking, our mind actually starts to not think clearly anymore. I remember this in my situation. In those moments, those thoughts actually made sense in my head and they seemed rational and normal. But now thinking back, I'm like, what was I thinking? That made no sense. That was a complete projection onto someone else. And even if there are elements in other people's lives where we think if we would have that, we would feel more joyous, we need to start getting out of that kind of way of comparison thinking, because that makes it impossible to work on your life and work on what you want to do, because you'll only stay stuck in exactly where you are. And there's just no point in that and no value in that. Taking action. Once I started to understand that I didn't want to think like this anymore because it was really causing me a lot of harm, I started realizing how many things that I was doing that was just making this way worse. So delete the apps that make this worse, say bye to the friends that make this worse. A lot of brands also and companies, they strive off of our insecurities, off of our way of thinking that there's always something we don't have. We always need more. We always need to fix ourselves, because that's how they make money. And also when you look at our society, it's not a one-to-one, because nothing ever is, but most of the times girls tend to compare mostly their outside appearance to other people, because that's what we get valued for the most. And on the other hand, boys tend to compare more like things like careers or accomplishments or how much money they make to other people, success, I guess, because that's what they're valued for the most. And so that just made it clear for me that this is also a big result of our environment in our society. It's not just all in my head. And so understanding that and kind of weighing both of those, what is my work and what is also causing harm to me from the outside that I need to remove myself from. Accepting all of me. I think setting up your life in a way where you feel like you can love yourself easier because your environment makes you feel good is a really important first step. But I realized that for me, I didn't want it to be the last because I wanted to be free of that. I wanted to be in whatever kind of environment and still feel a sense of self-love that can be less than in the environment that I feel the best in, and it can be limited, but I wanted something to be there. That journey, of course, needs time and patience, and I also think it is a journey that never ends probably, but I think that's the end goal, right? To be able to watch whatever kind of video or be with whoever kind of person and still feel like I can love myself and there is something there I can come back to. I think that is true freedom. What's my end goal? I think especially with social media, but even without it, it's something that's in our society generally. We kind of think that our goals should be external, like they should be dependent on how we look or what we have or what we achieve. And those are also mostly the areas that we compare ourselves in. But like that, with that kind of way of thinking, we continuously harm ourselves because we are comparing areas in our life that are not always in our control. Instead, learning to set goals that are internal is one, much smarter because it's the only thing that we can control in life, our internal. And at the same time, it's much more valuable because in the end, it is all that matters. So I started realizing that the best and most amazing life is lived when I am in harmony with my physical body and my mind, and that is something that no one can take away from me. And it's also something that I never need to compare someone else in and make myself feel bad for, because it is all within me. I can do that. I don't have to be someone else to be able to do that. And then the last one, an energy greater than both of us. There is a poem by Rupi Kaur. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce her last name. I really don't know. This might be completely wrong. But Rupi, she is one of my favorite writers out there, and there's a poem by her that basically encaptures what I'm trying to say really, really well. So I would just love to read it. The universe took its time on you, crafted you to offer the world something different from everyone else. When you doubt how you were created, you doubt an energy greater than both of us, irreplaceable. For me, this poem really, really resonates, and I think if you believe in God or a higher power, that's also kind of a great thing to go to, because you can kind of think about that and trust in the fact that what you have to offer and who you are and your experiences are enough and they are perfect the way they are. But if you don't believe in this and you don't believe in a higher power or God, I guess, then you can just look at nature, because for me, that is a great mirror of that as well, especially when you look at animals, because they are all so different and so diverse, and they look different and they have different strengths and weaknesses, but they all fulfill their role of being, and they don't go ahead and compare themselves to other. Like an elephant is not going to go ahead and say, why am I not a giraffe? Why don't I have such a long neck like the giraffe? Like, it's just the elephant. It's what they are here to do. It's who they are. And so that's obviously easier said than done, because they don't have humans telling them one thing is better than the other. But I think reminding ourselves of the fact that thinking that one is better than the other is just a perception. It's just an opinion, but it doesn't mean that it's true. So these were all of the things that I wanted to share for today's video on comparison. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and check out some other videos of mine if you want to. And yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very, very soon. No, don't open the curtain, you'll ruin my lighting. Bye.
I'm gonna come with my laptop and sit on the table.
On the bed here? You, Mama, I'm filming. You can't sit on the bed there in the background working.
Why not?
Because let me just film this. It's not long anymore.
Yeah, but a little bit. Like, look, you won't see me.
No, Mama, you're ruining my bedding. Mama, you're ruining the bedding. No.
Hi, guys. I love you all. Thumbs up, click below, subscribe.